Yeah, you were breaking up a little bit, Chris. Hey guys, if y'all have a pen and a piece of paper, write this down. There was a lot of calls, and you guys wanted this. What's happening right now, and what's going to happen here in the next week? Um, on our starter packs, there was too many tubs, okay, and everybody was like, "We need sticks. We need sticks." So we'll be posting it on the Team Rice Elepanor page so you guys can see basically the new packs at $250 to $500 pack whenever you guys see this. I'm certain that you guys are going to be all excited because it's mostly sticks except the tub for the new distributor to consume for the month they're going to be taking our products. Okay. Also, on the reorder kits, what was happening is on the starter kits, we get, say, I bring Chris onto the business, then I'm a new promoter. I would get volume for that 250 or the $500 pack, right? So we also have reorder kits that we do have also, right? But we weren't giving you the volume or your new distributor the volume to be able to hit star or bronze the first month in the business. So now we're going to make that happen too. Okay. So everything is going to have volume attached to it. The reorder kits are also. So it's pretty exciting. A lot of the leaders across the company made this happen. It wasn't me. And corporate listened and acted on it. So within the next few days to a week, we'll have all new packs with nothing but samples to be able to get out to the marketplace. And you guys are going to completely love the new packs and the reorder kits you're going to get volume for. So I thought it was important. I wanted to hop on and interrupt Chris for a second. So back over to you, Chris. Thank you.
So guys, y'all heard him mention a team page. Every team, in fact, we have many different team pages even within our group. So what you're going to find is that more than likely, all of your team leaders, whoever's hosting those pages, will be posting the fact that there's going to be new kits and what's the changes in those kits. I just wanted to clarify that because some people aren't in the group that he just mentioned. So with that, guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about, I'm gonna tie two things in. We're gonna first talk about, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of skill set, a little bit of mindset, some ways to say things. Again, I will start this off by sharing that if anything that's shared tonight or on any of these calls, with what your leadership is doing, don't get all sidetracked and distracted and go, I've been doing it wrong or this and that and all that other kind of stuff. What you want to recognize is that different personalities, different people might align with one skill set over another, but it doesn't mean that what one person is doing is wrong or what another person is doing is right. It just boils down to the fact that people are different. Everyone's a little bit different. And I like to liken it to the fact that sometimes one personality is really great on Facebook, right? They're great at attracting people and they make these posts. And in fact, we have some amazing ladies in our group that they do these amazing, beautiful posts, right? That are just like so dazzling where like, I want to rejoin the business, right? And then I go and I copy their post. And what happens is, so what in the hell kind of aliens took over Chris? Like, he just did this weird girly post, like, what happened to my friend? So you want to make sure that, you know, what you do aligns with who you are. So we like to joke around and say, we have two rules. Number one is be normal. Don't be a weirdo. We get started in a business like this and all of a sudden we turn into like this weird person and your friends are like thinking you joined a cult or something because you turned into a weirdo. So don't do that. So be normal, don't be a weirdo. And number two is you gotta have fun. And the reason why we say that is because many times we get started in a business and people, can we agree, a lot of people already have jobs, right? And not everyone thinks that their job is the most fun thing in the world. So the last thing that they want to do come home from a job that many people aren't happy at, and then think they have to go do something else that's not fun for a business on the side. So what I'm going to go over is a couple different mindsets along with some skill sets as we talk about this. But last week you heard me briefly talk about this. And I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's basically words are only 7% of communication. Tonality is 38% of communication. Physiology is 55% of communication. Why do I bring that up? Because guys, our energy, who we are and the way that we act, the way that we carry ourselves is going to attract people to us or cause the people to be like, I don't know what they're doing, but I don't want to do anything crazy. So it's the way that we come across that communicates with people. So on one side, I must say that words are not the most important thing, but then I'm also going to give you some words that communicate directly with the subconscious mind. So what if we can give you some strategies and some tips to open people up, build immediate rapport, and start connecting with people better? Would that be help to you? Put yes in the comments if it would, because we're going to go over some of that stuff. So I'm going to go over some strategies, and I'm going to give you guys some, and again, I'm going to talk about some strategies that I use on a daily basis. Some people like talking to people when they leave the house. I know we're in Weirdville right now and people are wearing masks and people are afraid to talk to people and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean that you can't talk to people from 6 foot away, right? Or I'm talking to people everywhere I go and I'm basically communicating with people, building rapport. And I also do some of this stuff through Messenger as well for the Facebook people. So some of the strategies I've been using on Facebook and some of the strategies, I've been using in person. So first off, I'm going to go over very simply what we teach our team and how we teach people how to run a 4-step process. Again, if I say anything that doesn't align with what your team is teaching, take whatever nuggets you can, use it, and if it doesn't align with what you're already doing, don't do it. But what we teach our people is 4 steps. Step number 1, drink coffee, be happy. Can we all do that? Can we all drink coffee and smile, right? We drink coffee, we're happy. Because our physiology, that smile, communicates with people better than, going and accosting people and saying all kinds of crazy stuff. And I'm going to give you some lines at work and some lines so step 1 is drink coffee, be happy. Step 2 is share your story. Well, how do we share our story without being a weirdo? Like, how do you do that? How do you share your story without being a weirdo? Well, I'm going to teach you a couple questions that you can ask that are pretty much guaranteed to open people up to where they're going to be asking you, what is that? What do you do? So how do we do that? Question number 1 is, have you heard? Question number 1 is, do you know anybody that drinks coffee? I always ask the question, so I'm gonna give you a 4-line statement to say, and this opens people up subconsciously every single time. Y'all ready? These are 4 words. I want you to think about what 4 words do you think would open people up every single time? You probably got no idea. Guys, if you ask these questions, immediate rapport, immediately people will open up to hear what you want to say. Are you ready? I'm just curious. I am just curious. 4 words. I am just curious. When you ask that, it opens up people immediately. All of their, pushy person stuff turns off, like to where they just automatically, when you say, hey, I'm just curious, they immediately are open to hear whatever you say. This is literally, it's a tool to communicate with the subconscious. So question number 1. Do you know anybody that drinks coffee? Why do I ask the question, do you know anybody that drinks coffee? Do you think you could ask that question and know anybody that doesn't know anybody that drinks coffee? No, you're guaranteed to get a yes. So if you say, do you know anybody that drinks coffee? Hey, I'm just curious, do you know anybody that drinks coffee? They're gonna say, well, of course I do. knows people that coffee. And then question number 2, have you heard about the happy coffee everyone's been talking about? Have you heard about the happy coffee that everyone's been talking about? Why do we ask that question? Guys, this could be done in a messenger. It could be done via text. It could be done whatever. Hey, Mary, I haven't talked to you in a while. I'm just curious. Do you know anybody drinks coffee? Wait for the answer. Boom. Question number 2, have you heard about the happy coffee everyone's been talking about? Guys, a friend of mine that actually worked with me in another business years ago, haven't talked to him probably, how many years would you say? It's been at least 5 years. I think she got off of Facebook for a while. Today she friends me on Facebook. She saw my wife in the grocery store the other day. And they didn't even talk, but it reminded her, hey, I'm not friends with them anymore. She sends me a friend request, and I asked her what she's been up to. And then when she asked me, what have you been up to? I just said, have you heard about the happy coffee that everyone's been talking about? And she's like, happy coffee, what is that? Does it work? Absolutely it works. Boom. So next thing you know, she's asking me for information, asking for a link. So guys, when you ask this question, every single time, I would say 90+% of the time, if you say, have you heard of the happy coffee everyone's been talking about, they're going to ask you why or what it is. How does that work? So why does that work? Why do I say that? Because I'm telling you, we have people like even Ricky will get on and say, man, when I told him that's what this is the script we're going to use, he was like, that is the stupidest thing I ever heard. That sounds corny. I'm not saying that. But guys, it absolutely works. And the reason is because about it. If you think, are you like most people or least people? Everyone automatically associates themselves with most people. And that's why in commercials, they'll have people that are like, they'll show hands pulling off stuff on the shelves. They'll show a bunch of people rushing into a store. They'll show things making you think that, wow, everybody's doing it. I should be doing it. It also brings you back. Remember when you were in high school and a friend might go, you know, have you heard about what Mary's doing? Oh my gosh, everybody's talking about it. Everybody knows. And you're me like, no, what happened to Mary? Tell me about it. And it makes you want to know. So if everyone's talking about it and they don't know about it, they're going to ask you. It's a tool of influence called social proof. This is a psychological trigger. That's why we say that. So now I go from, have you heard about to, boom, sharing my story. Another thing is to handle objections before you get them. Can we agree that people are skeptical? Like people are skeptical. So what I do is I always start my story off with being skeptical. And I go, you know, a friend of mine told me about this happy coffee, and it almost sounded too good to be true. That coffee could do all this amazing stuff. So to say I was skeptical is an understatement. But oh my gosh, when I tried this, I was dealing with anxiety, a slight depression. I didn't have the energy that I wanted. And within 15 minutes, I felt like myself again. Boom. You want to be short, brief, to the point. I went over the problem. So in sharing your story, you want to share the problem. I didn't have energy. I was always hungry. I was whatever. Prior to happy coffee, you want to share that, where the problem was. Since I've been drinking this happy coffee, oh my gosh, boom, 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 go over the benefits. And then I say, you know what? There's a website that explains it way better than I can. So step 3. So step 1, drink coffee, be happy. Step 2, share your story by asking the 2 questions. Step 3, share a tool. Don't be the tool. Don't be the one going, oh my gosh, it's a business, and we did this, and blah, 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 weird, right? Don't do that. So share your story, and then basically lead into, hey, there's a Facebook group that I can add you to. You won't believe how amazing these stories are. Or I'll say, oh my gosh, the stories are amazing. You got to see. I'm going to add them into either a Facebook group. I'm going to share a website. I'm going to share maybe my link, or I might share a sample, because we are samplers. Some people are, some people aren't. But I can tell you, we sample, at least our team, we sample. So basically, I'm using the tools to basically do the work. So today, I had friends over this morning and made them a cup of coffee this morning. They drank the happy coffee, and literally within 15 minutes or so, my buddy's like, dude, I made him the coffee. I didn't even tell him what I was putting in it. My buddy's from Shreveport. He's been moved. He actually lived here for a while. He moved away. I haven't seen him really in a year, but I haven't like hung out with him in and he was in town, him and a friend. They came fishing out of New Orleans. So they stayed at my house last night. I made him a cup of coffee this morning. The coffee did the work. The coffee did the work. I didn't have to explain everything. I didn't have to, oh, it's, it does this and that, whatever. Drank it and they're like, what in the hell? Like, felt something. So then we talked about that. And then I just told stories is all I did. Hey, let me add you to a Facebook group. It'll explain it way better than I can. So step 3, don't be a tool. Use a tool. Step 4, people have questions. And instead of you being the expert, what we do is we refer them to someone else. So what happens when someone starts asking me questions, I'm like, you know what? That's a great question. I'm not really sure about all that. But what I do know is that my friend Mary, my friend Dorothy, my friend Mark, my friend, whoever, using someone else, and I'm connecting them. So how do we connect them? There's a thing called 3-way calling. We have an app called Zoom, which we're using right now. And we also have Facebook Messenger. We have text. We can connect people to different people in multiple different ways. So I might go, let's talk about Messenger. I might say, oh my gosh, that's a great question, Dorothy. I'm not really sure about all that. All I know is I've been drinking this stuff. It gave me more energy, focus. I'm down a fefew pounds. It's been amazing. I'll tell you what, look, have you watched all the stories on the Facebook group that I put you in? Well, actually, not really. Oh my God, you got to go check that out. So now I'm going to follow up. They looked at some stories, whatever. I'm like, so can you see why I'm so excited? Yes. Awesome. So what made the most sense to you? I like this part, that part. Whatever they tell me, I say me too. Because if they say I like the weight loss, do you like the weight loss? Yes. I like energy. I like focus. So whatever they say, I'm like, me too. You want to build rapport, build a bridge. And then from there, I'm going to say, so is there anything else you need to know before you're ready to get started? Well, what's in it? You know what? I'm not really sure about all that, a bunch of herbs and stuff. But I tell you what, a friend of mine does know better than I do. Here, let me see if I can connect you on Facebook. You got to hear their story. Boom. I put them in a Facebook Messenger and I talk. And I'm like, hey, Mary, I want you to meet Dorothy. Mary, would you mind sharing your story with Dorothy? She had some questions about, what's in the product and stuff like that. And I figured you can answer better than I can. Or I might even press the call button on Messenger and then put us on a video chat right then and there. Boom, simple. So guys, step 4 is pass the ball. So why do we do that? This is why. Is it safe to say we have no professional basketball players on this call? It's safe to say, right? What you do is get on the court, dribble the ball, and then pass the ball to somebody else and let them take the shots. And then basically, like Michael Jordan, you just go out on the court and you just dribble, and then Michael Jordan runs by and you just go, and you pass the ball to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan does what he does, boom, slam dunk, and you get paid. How many of us would join the NBA if all we had to do is dribble the ball and then pass it to Michael Jordan? Every single one of us. Well, guys, every one of you all have a Michael Jordan in your team. Every single one of you all have a support system of many different Michael Jordans, of many different people that can help you answer questions and take the shots for you so you don't have to be Michael Jordan. You could pass the ball to your Michael Jordan in this business. Does that make sense? So guys, that's the 4-step process that we use. So let's talk about another communication, how to build rapport and how to create confidence pretty quickly when we're out in public. In order to communicate, people need to disagree. And you're like, what do you mean people need to disagree? I don't think people need to disagree. And if you're saying that, you're disagreeing, which just proves that people need to disagree. So this is the deal. If you go up to people and you walk up to them and you're like, you know what? It must suck working here. It must suck having to work on a weekend. You know, you should join my business because I can work from anywhere I want. Guys, that doesn't really work, right? Can we agree that the way that we say things can make a difference? So I'll give you an idea. Like my wife says that I am an expert at giving a compliment and taking it away. She's like, you really need to work on this people skill thing, right? So this is many years of working on myself. So I'll give you an example of what I mean. So you can say the same thing, but change the way you say it a little bit and it means something totally different. Example. So I go to my wife and I'm like, baby, when I look at you, time stops. That's saying that, you know, when I look at you, time stops. Everything is just amazing. All right. So let me give you the normal Chris way that I might say things. Baby, you stop a clock. Like your looks stop clocks. Like same thing, not as sweet, right? Like not very good. Same thing, right? And that's why I was talking about tonality, the way you say things, and our body language makes such a difference. For instance, honey, it's dinner time. Like I said certain words, right? Well, let me show you how same words, different meaning. Honey, it's dinner time. Like, can we agree that I just said the same thing, but it meant two totally different things? So guys, as leaders, we want to work on how do we communicate with people and how to do it in a better fashion. So in order to communicate, for instance, we might ask the question, hey, as we're talking to somebody, like, hey, I'm just curious, how long have you been working here? And then they're going to say, well, I've been working here for this many years. They could say 6 months. The way that I open up the conversation almost every single time, and it works, is I say, wow, you must love this job. You must love this. Why do I say that? Because in order to communicate, people need to disagree. So if I say you must love this, they're going to say, well, it's okay. Pays the bills. So then I can ask, well, what would you rather be doing? Well, I would rather be whatever they say they would rather do. Well, what's stopping you from doing that? Well, money. I'm just curious. I don't even know if this would be for you or not, but do you know anybody that drinks coffee? Have you heard about the happy coffee that everyone's been talking about? Hey, I'm just curious. Do you keep an open mind when it comes to business? So I'm in Home Depot with my brother the other day. We were running a gas line. He's building an outdoor kitchen. So I was helping him run the gas line. And we had to get a piece of pipe threaded. Well, one guy in Home Depot was a total jerk. And he just was like, I'm busy. I'm with somebody else. And the other guy, he comes up and he's like, he knows the other guy's a jerk. And he's like, you know, going, that's actually the supervisor. And I'm like, wow, he has great people skills. But at any rate, as we're talking, I'm like, so by the way, I'm like, how long have you been working here? Well, this store, I've been here for 13 years, but I've been with the company for whatever. And I'm like, wow, you must love it. He goes, I'm not going to go that far. He goes, but what I will say is the benefits are great and stuff like that. And I'm like, I mean, you do have good people skills. So I have to ask, I'm just curious, do you keep an open mind when it comes to business? And he goes, you know, in these times, you got to keep an open mind, especially with all the craziness that's going on. We don't know what's going to happen. And I'm like, hey, I don't know if this would be for you or not, but if I sent you a quick link, when do you think you'd have a whole 3 minutes to take a look at a video? And then boom, I got his number. His name was Joe. And I literally sent him a link right then and there, which reminds me I have to follow up because we did that the other day. So guys, that's just a way that you can start communicating with people and open up conversation to basically be able to communicate with people and open people up immediately, figure out if they're open to business or not. Now, different one. You've been working here for 13 years. That must suck. I mean, working in the same place, having to thread pipe and stuff all day, you know, you're working on the weekend. I mean, today's Saturday, I'm about to go out on my boat. Like, man, you need to do business with me. Like, guys, bad, total bad communication. Because in order to communicate, people need to disagree. If I start talking about how much his job sucks, and he's going to argue and tell me what's so great about it. Well, the benefits are amazing. This is great. That is whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Why? Because in order to communicate, people need to disagree. People have to disagree. For instance, and I know everyone's going to agree the Saints are the best football playing team out there, period. The Saints are the best. Guys, if people just agreed with people and everybody just went along with what the other person said, I'm saying nothing to talk about, everyone would just agree. So in order to communicate, people need to disagree. That's a tip. So now let's go into the mindset, guys. So, you know, and I've been sharing this and actually talking to a lot of leaders about this. So this conversation is going to be coming in this is going to be a high level conversation, what I'm going to be sharing, because some of you all got started here just to get free product or to make an extra $500 a month. Some of you all are just getting started and, you know, you might not be able to see exactly what's possible here yet. But what I want to share with you guys is that anything is possible if you believe it. And if you start to focus in on what you want, you can make the world, you can change the world, you can move the world, and you can make things happen and change. So I shared a little bit last week about how broke we were when we got started. I was sharing the story with a friend of mine this morning because he knew what I was dealing with. We were actually together on a fishing trip when I had the infection that it actually flared up when I was with him. And I was like literally laying all over the place. We're on a fishing weekend and I was everywhere I went. I just couldn't even stand. I was laying down everywhere. I mean, we're in a park and I'm laying down. We're at a fishing rodeo and I'm like laying down in the grass and stuff like that because I couldn't walk. I was in so much pain. And, you know, my life just went down the tubes at that point, you know, physically, financially, mentally, you name it. So, you know, I was sharing how when I basically drank the coffee, how it helped and how it shifted everything. But guys, we were in a terrible position. And when we got started here, we focused in on what we wanted. I didn't focus in on the fact that I only had 56 bucks in my account. And my wife was freaking out, like, how are we going to pay for the kids' school tuition? How are we going to do it? I had a clear vision of what I wanted to create. And the problem is most of us focus in on our circumstances and they go, well, you know, I don't know how I'm going to do that. They're trying to figure it out. And they take their possibilities based on their present circumstances. And this is the thing. There's a good book that says life and death through the words of our lips. Most of us are focused in on where we are, and then we speak more death and speak more lack and limitation into where we are based on our experiences. But this is the thing. You can create greatness. You can change the way that you think. But this is what you have to also notice. You cannot attract what your thoughts repel. So what do you mean? What do you mean you can't attract what your thoughts repel? So I want you to finish after me, and you're going to finish this in your head. Money is the root of all evil. That's what people are. Doesn't grow on. That person is filthy rich. You know, if you look at people that are wealthy and that have great things and you think that they either cheated their way or got there in a way or they did something wrong to get it, you can't attract what your thoughts repel. And you can't have that mindset that money is the root of all evil and then expect to get wealthy, because subconsciously you're holding yourself back from creating greatness, because who would want to work towards becoming evil? So you have to change the way that you think and change the way that you feel. And the way that I did it was through affirmations. I spoke affirmations. I spoke life into what I wanted every single day. Every single day for months, I spoke morning and evening. I did my affirmation and I spoke it into existence, what I wanted to create. I spoke into my life what I wanted to see happen, not where I was. And this is what I remember setting a goal for a boat. And I was like, I can't get that boat. Like, how am I going to be able to afford that boat when my air conditioning's out in the house? How am I going to afford that boat if my mortgage is a month behind? How am I going to be able to get that boat if my credit's screwed up? So guys, you have to change your belief system. You have to change what you think about. And the problem is, and the reason why most people aren't getting wealthy is because they focus on paying their bills. And their goal is like, I just don't want to have to worry about my bills. Well, guess what? If you focus on your bills, that's all you'll do is pay your bills. You have to focus on getting wealthy. You have to focus on what that looks like. You have to focus on what that feels like. And I remember when I was setting the goal, and I remember that was going to happen. And I realized that it made me mad. And I was like, I have to change my stinking thinking. I have to change the way I feel about this. I have to change this because, guys, we all have a thermostat, right? We have a psychological thermostat. Like on right here, we have a thermostat on the wall in your house that is designed to keep the temperature where you want it to be. So if you set it at 71, it gets above 71, the air conditioning clicks on. If it gets below 71 and you have the heater on, the heater will kick on. Well, guys, you have a psychological thermostat which is set for your finances. You have one for your relationships. You have one for all the different aspects of your life. And until you recognize that you have the ability to shift the temperature and shift, the shift whether you feel about it, then you will stay the same. And you will keep creating the same things over and over and over again. Like, has anybody ever dated like a crazy person? And then you break up and you're like, I'm never dating anybody crazy like that again. And then you end up with somebody else just as crazy with a different name. And you're like, how in the hell do I keep getting these stupid relationships with these same people? It's because your thermostat is set. You ever notice you might do the same things over and over and over until you shift your mindset, until you shift your temperature, you're going to keep getting the same stuff. It's a matter of you, one, recognizing that you have that set, and then two, being able to shift the way that you feel about it. So the beautiful part about it is you can shift your mindset. So guys, the difference between the super wealthy and the middle class is not some huge gap. It's little tiny things. So let's break down the word extraordinary. Extraordinary is extraordinary. It's doing simple, ordinary things consistently over time. Like, for instance, if you gained weight, it doesn't happen overnight. It happens from doing simple errors in judgment over an extended period of time. Just like losing the weight is simple disciplines repeated over time. Extraordinary things. You don't get overweight by being, your extraordinary things you're eating too much, right? You lose weight by extraordinary things, by eating less, moving more. It's not rocket science. Eat less, move more, you're going to lose weight. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So with that being said, guys, you have to start to recognize, what story do you tell yourself? What is holding you back? What limitations have you already created for yourself? So what I did is I wrote this affirmation out and I spoke it morning and night, morning and night, morning and night. It was a 3-minute long affirmation. And basically I read this over and over and over and over and over and over until I started to believe it. And part of that affirmation today said, today I will meet the person or group of people that will use their wealth, power, and influence to help me achieve my dreams. All day long, people go out of their way to bless me. I have favor. I get results that last. Today, I will add great value to someone's life, knowing that as I help other people achieve their dreams, all my dreams will come true. I was broke, busted, and disgusted, but now I'm growing and overflowing. And guys, that became my belief system. I started to believe that mindset. I started to believe what was possible. I started to believe that anything was possible. So this is what I want to talk about in closing. Over the last 2 years, and I can go back and look through all of these notebooks of stuff where I've been writing down dreams and goals for years and years and years, literally 20 years. And the crazy part is that in the last 2 years, we've been so blessed to be able to attract so many amazing people. And because we focused in on helping a whole bunch of people make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month, we've been blessed beyond measure. And over the last 2 years, not only have we were able to, one, make our house exactly what we wanted it since we've moved here, but we've always wanted a house on the water. We've been able to have the exact vehicles that we want. We've been able to basically, I was able to get the boat that I wanted, the dream boat. I had another boat on my dream board since 2001. I was going to cash for that boat. Guys, we've been able to just totally change our life, and it got to where we paid all these things, and I set a goal that I wanted to have 6 figures in the bank. Never did that before. We were able to do that and go way beyond that. But guys, we just set goal after goal after goal, and what I recognized is it got to where it was like, why am I doing this? You know, like, and it's not that why am I doing it, because there is the side that we're doing this to empower other people. We're doing this to help other people achieve those dreams. But you know, knowing that you have a certain amount of money coming in, or knowing that whatever, like there wasn't that driving force like there was in the very beginning when I was running to get the boat. Now, everyone is different. Some people are motivated by numbers. Some people are motivated by the affirmations or the, you know, what people give them the accolades and ranks and all that other stuff. For me, it's physical things that work the best over to get. And it got to where it's like I have the truck, the exact truck I want, like literally. I don't want to do anything to it. Like I have the exact truck I want. My wife has the exact car that I want. Basically, we were just whatever, but what I was lacking was the place on the water. So what I had to start doing, because in my mind, I was like, well, we're going to have a place on the water, and when something comes up, but I couldn't see it. I couldn't visualize it. And I'm sharing this because I urge every single one of you all to have a clear vision of what it looks like when you accomplish your goal, and to know what it looks like, and then you can start to materialize it, because you can start to feel what it feels like. See, I knew what it felt like to have the boat. I knew what it felt like to watch my daughter or my son behind the boat and watch them surf, and how proud I am as a dad watching them. I knew what that felt like, and I could work towards that. I knew what it felt like to have a nice vehicle and all that. I knew those things. I couldn't visualize exactly the house on the water, because there was one that a friend of mine was saying, oh, he might sell and all this stuff, but it wasn't exactly what I wanted. So my wife and I started like really putting together what house plan we want, what exactly it looks like. So now we've found the house plan. We have exactly what we want in a house. We know what it looks like. We've been talking to I've been calling the designers and talking to them. Hey, I just want to shift this. I want the garage in the back instead of the front. Is that a big deal? Nope, not a problem, blah, blah. So I'm actually going through the process and putting it all together. So we have it. I actually posted it on Facebook last week. And we've been going in this one area. So where my boat is on the water, I'm at a friend of mine's boathouse. I keep my boat. And we've been wanting a place along this water, but there was never nothing for sale. And I've been talking to this guy that they owned a bunch of land that they were going to develop last 2 years, and aggravating the guy, like, when are they coming up? And it was just like, I don't know, whatever. So randomly I go over there, and they're like, actually, they're going to be going up for sale next week. And I'm like, boom, deposit, and bought the first lot in the neighborhood right then and there. So we actually bought 2.6 acres on the water. So now I know exactly what it looks like, because I know where it is. I'm going to start clearing the land next week. I know exactly what the house is going to look like. I can already see the boathouse. I'm drawing the plans for the boathouse. Literally know exactly what that's going to look like, what it's going to feel like, and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm sharing this not to be braggadocious at all, guys, not to be like whatever, but if you don't know where the hell you're going, how are you ever going to get there? If you don't know what your life looks like when things change, when your income changes or whatever, how are you going to work towards it's like, well, we're going to go to California. Where's California? I have no idea. What is it? I don't know. What roads are you going to take? Whatever. You have to have a roadmap to where you're going. You have to know where you're going, why you're going there, and have that vision. So now let's talk about that. Because when you start to get so clear about what it looks like and what it feels like, it doesn't matter what other people say. It doesn't matter if people say no. It doesn't matter if, whatever. You don't care. Because guys, and you have to also ask yourself, when you got started, did you have the mindset, well, I'll try to make it work? Guys, there is no try. That's like me saying, all right, here's a cup. And I say, try to pick up the cup. This is what try looks like. Nothing. Because you either pick up the cup, so when you have to have in your mindset, you have to make a decision. And look, there's 3 levels of decisions. When you're talking to people and they enroll, they'll say, oh, I'm going to try out, I can do it, I'll see what happens. That's not commitment. Commitment's not I'll see what happens. Commitment's not like, oh, we'll see how it goes. I'll do my best. What does that look like? That's not commitment. Commitment is you making a decision that I'm doing this no matter what. And when you have that mindset and when you start to create that, this is what we're doing. And guys, when we got started, there was a group of leaders that got together and they said, this is what we're going to do. This is what it's going to look like. This is how we're going to make people feel. Who's coming with me? Who's doing this with me? Who wants to be the change in the industry? Who wants to be the change out there to make a difference in other people's lives? This is who. And this is what it looks like. Who's doing it with me? And guys, when you start to have that mindset, when you start to create that driving force, you cannot be stopped. And what happens is because of your conviction, that 55% of communication, they feel it. They know that what you're saying is true. And let's face it, guys, would you want to join you? Would you want to join you in your business based on how you feel? You have to say, what does a leader look like? What does it look like? What would they do? And then you become that. Why did I write the affirmation? Because I had to become that in my mind first. I had to become that leader that people are looking for. And I told myself, I'm the leader people are looking for. Who's coming with me? This is what it looks like. This is where I'm going. And you have to have that winning mindset. Like I said, guys, this is going to be a different level. This isn't for the person that just wants to make an extra $500. This is for the people that want to make a change in their life, that want to go out there and be better. The bottom line is you're either growing or you're dying. Why not grow? Why not change your mindset? Why not shift the way that you've been looking at stuff? Why not think bigger? It takes the same amount of energy to dream small as it does to dream big. So why not dream big? Let's go out there and change many people's lives. And if we do that, guys, your life will change. I can now see the house. I can visualize it. I can feel it. I'm obsessed now about it. And I'm going back to work because I must make this happen. And I want to be able to do it and not be house poor. I want to do it and not have, big mortgages and all this other kind of stuff. I want to do it and be able to be an example for other people. It's your choice. It's your decision to be that person. Decide to step into your power. You were designed for greatness, but conditioned for failure. Let's shift the script. Let's shift the script and start thinking better. Start writing out an affirmation for yourself. Start visualizing what your life looks like. And more importantly, start feeling and internalizing and sharing with other people what it feels like when you're looking out the window of your dream car, your dream house, or whatever it is that drives you guys. It's really that simple. So with that being said, I hope you got value tonight. Love you all. Let's go out there and make our dreams happen. We are at the last 2 days of the month. We can make a difference. We can dig into our teams, find out who's close to rank, find out who you can get across the line. Let's get our people to star. Let's get our people to bronze. Let's get our people to silver. Let's find out wherever people are and help them get to the next level, guys. Let's close the month in a big way. We were for greatness, be greatness. Take care, guys. I'm gonna unmute everybody. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Happy Monday.
Chris.
Hey, Greg.
Thank you.
Thank you.